Hold on, I'm
And
still. I had to close down the stream and delete it and reset it up. So hold on.
Also, while like Brian just mentioned the 1 hour, the current 1 hour, the idea, like obviously, like everybody's kind of waiting for like a sell down here, but the current 1 hour didn't break the high, and depending on how it closes, it can flip and close bearish, which would be a better indication of where we want to go.
yeah, I definitely think whichever way that we go, we should see a nice move. I know it's obviously Sunday, so I'm personally gonna wait for my absolute solid confirmation. So I will only be basing trades off closes, and then like breaks of highs or lows. So I won't be trading based off any like wicks today, just because it's a little risky.
Yeah, I'm looking for a break and then a retest and then a break of that high that closed either high or low. And once we get a close on the 30 outside, either above or below, I'm going to take the break on that wick if it presents itself.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a chance for a little retest.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that we might be able to see a bullish run up to like, we might see like a bearish weekly candle, but I think first we might come up to 132,800 and like retest that area on the 4 hour and the 1 hour before we start seeing any real bearish momentum. Or we might just go down right now, but I think we could see some sort of retracement on the 1 hour and the 4 hour before we really start seeing a lot of bearish momentum to the downside.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's good to have like a weekly judgment in the terms of you think that maybe we're going to go bearish for the week, but of course, you know, if you're scalping, then in terms of runners, maybe that I think that would benefit. But for me, I just kind of look at price action as well. So I'm open to taking, if you say counter trend.
Yeah, I think we could come up for this afternoon, but just staying as objective as we can right now, staying open.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it well easy, really easy.
Yeah,
So
no rush. I'm not gonna trade them.
It's a full margin kind of day.
You feeling
Harrison,
it, Paul?
is that Sunday rule, Harrison?
What's that? Just taking it easy, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just after reviewing a lot of Sundays, like they're a bit hit and miss really. So I think when I've taken closes on a Sunday, I've had a better outcome. So I'm gonna stick with that so that I can feel a bit more comfortable risking some of my money, you know. Typically Fridays are the same, but although in the last month it seems Fridays kind of do quite a big push.
Oh yeah. Whenever we
So-
consolidate like that, we get big runs on Friday.
Yeah, no, but I think when we have a lot of volume through the week, it starts to thin out by the end
Yep.
of the week. So, yeah, I think you're definitely spot on there, Paul.
Have you guys looked at the way the monthly count is probably going to close? Is wild, bro.
Mm.
Did you look at the
Massive.
weekly? The weekly, so what was it? Last week, Monday, we were anticipating this bearish close here, and then we had this week daily close. So same exact thing I'm looking to do right now on this 30-minute. Got a bearish close, kind of a weaker bullish close. If we break that low, I'm going to sell. Daily, was it daily I was looking at? Yeah, so
Yeah.
daily did the same thing. Got this weak close, lower high, no new lower low in 4 days. We break the low, we fall down to support. So I think we're going to see a tap of this support, and then we'll kind of probably push up after that into London and New York, and then have that top wick for the weekly. But then if we go to the weekly, it's going to be the exact same thing. We got this weak close, we break the low, we'll fall to support. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating, is something like we have here. Got this kind of longer exhaustion wick, you could say. And once we break that low, we'll fall to whatever target we have.
Yeah. And that's always a stronger confirmation than just going with the like a continuous low.
Where is my? There we go.
Hopefully we have a better week than last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah.
I do too, but we'll see.
I think last week was a good learning opportunity too. That there are them weeks that are just choppy, and they're the times to really try and maintain capital, be a bit more risk, you know, bit more stricter with the risk management. So
Right. Yeah. Of course. 100%.
Also, Paul, you know the daily chart you were looking at, right, where we kind of broke out from those wicks and everything to the left.
Yep.
On like the lower time frame, that's just like the range that we finally broke out of and closed out of. Like every single time we kept getting a wick down, a wick below or wick high. Now we finally kind of closed out of like how Harrison always looks for those closes and everything.
Yep. Alright, Frankie.
yeah, I'm looking at also the way that we kind of gapped below that support as well when we first actually opened up. So maybe then there is that bearish sentiment.
GJ 15. Yep. Exactly what I'm looking for. And then we got support. We got about 20 pips down to there. Yep.
Trading Wednesday and Thursday in New York anymore.
You are or you're not?
I'm not going to anymore because I always give back profits on Wednesday and Thursday in New York. So I'm just gonna stop trading those sessions. Because I always wake up early since I'm on the West Coast, and towards the end of the week I kind of get tired and it affects my psychology, and I always give back profits. So I'm just not gonna trade those sessions anymore in New York, and I'm just gonna get some more sleep, and then I'll be even fresher for Asian.
I gotcha. I think something else you could do would be look at Wednesday, Thursdays, and try to find out why you're losing on those days, because those are typically the better days of the week, especially in New York session. So I think if you can figure out what's going on in that session, it would benefit you longer term, because those are going to be your better. They should be your better, bigger days. So maybe it's just because it's midweek and everything's kind of set up. Maybe it's moving faster than earlier in the week when you do good. So maybe like lower your risk a little bit, see if that gets your psychology or your mind in a better spot to trade those aggressiver days. Or just maybe it's just a simple entry thing. So I mean, I would maybe trade them this week and then just send me the charts in Discord, and we'll see if it's just bad luck or if you're just doing something wrong.
All right.
Were you planning on trading Mondays and Fridays still, Dorian?
Oh yeah, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. But I found that like I usually start off the week like really good, like up 5, 10, or 6%, and then like Wednesday, Thursday is like I just give everything back.
Yeah.
So
If you're looking to pick 3 days, like kind of what Paul was saying, like I sometimes miss a Monday or a Friday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are kind of my main days to try and make it, just because that's typically kind of, as Paul said, when the market moves the most. But you know, it definitely helps too, like if you're rested or what your schedule is like, to make sure it suits your lifestyle the best, for sure.
True. I forgot about that.
yeah, because I gotta wake up at like New York Open for me is like 5 a.m. So I'm always waking up at like 4:50 in the morning, right for New York Open, and
Yeah, that's me too. I feel your pain. I'm Mountain Standard, so I to trade New York, I get up at 4:15 in the morning, and it's a battle.
Yeah.
It's worth it though.
Definitely, especially like kind of as I said, I'll maybe miss a Monday or Friday. Like last Friday, I know it was a bit of a rangy week, so I slept in Friday and kind of recharged a little. But I definitely try and myself personally make sure I'm there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just because those are kind of when the market's making those bigger moves typically.
Yeah, that's what Rakil and Ted were saying as well. Is that usually Monday and Tuesday kind of sets up the move for the rest of the week.
Alright, Abdul. Pull up this chart.
I like what I was gonna say Mark is doing right now. Like it hasn't broken any hourly high, and no 30-minute has really gone up at all.
Okay. So, if you notice all these bodies, they all kind of stop here. But if you look at the wicks, it's tapping this same area. So, this is how I keep from confusing myself with multiple zones like that. Because these wicks all kind of touch in here. So if we just keep it our normal rule, clean traffic to the left, if we get above here and we close above, and these wicks have touched into here, so that's probably why they didn't close above anywhere. If we close above here, we should kind of get up to here, maybe back up to this top area up here. Because if this area here is going to hold price down, then this area here should hold price down. So that extra zone up here is just kind of redundant or extra because we do have these if we're looking at our like rules technically, these are technically clean candles coming down, so we should kind of see a similar move up to at least that little resistance up there and then make a move from there. So if we close above here and we make higher highs and higher lows, that means we're breaking through any resistance up here.
Cool, I'll be back in a minute.
Right. What up, Capital? Welcome. Thanks for coming. So yeah, it's not that I'm not considering it, it's just this is our resistance here right now. If we break above this resistance where all these wicks tapped into, then we should continue up. If we come up and we have an issue here, then we're still probably up 10 pips in profit. We've probably already gone risk-free. If it gets here and turns around, then it does, and we'll just manage it as it does. But I'd be more interested in what's happening here versus up here, because these candles pushed down through this area, kind of making this like invalid, you could say. So then if we push up, we're going to kind of push up like these ones push down and then run into issue here or up here. So that's kind of my idea on that. Yep, or nothing's gonna happen. Yep, yeah, Frankie, I think we're gonna be dropping.
Yeah. Also, like 80% of my losses in the last 3 weeks have been because of fear, mostly FOMO. So I'm gonna try and fix that. But it's gonna take time.
Are you risking more than you should be, or is that on point?
No, I'm just risking just
Okay.
not over risking, just talking to myself into trades that I know I shouldn't be taking, because either I miss the move and I'm frustrated, or I guess I just want to make back profits.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So definitely placing less FOMO trades will, it can make me profitable, because I don't think it's an issue for me placing good trades. It's just not allowing my bad trades to take away from my good trades profits. So
what do you think is causing you? You think you just need more confidence in your trades and knowing when to take the right one, or what do you think is kind of holding you back?
Um,
Then
I
I
think
got,
it's just discipline to only take those good trades that I know I should take. Um,
so you feel like you're maybe afraid of missing the move, kind of thing. You want to just make sure if a move happens, you're able to be a part of it. I think that might be something.
yeah, fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, not even. I mean,
No.
well, yes. I mean, somewhat. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I find that I'll talk myself into like like a like a setup that's just you know just mediocre. Like I'll talk myself into it. I know when a good setup comes along and I take it and it's a good trade, but then I'll try and create a setup out of market structure that's not that good, and then I'll end up taking it, and then I'll just give back profits. So I just need to like be aware of talking myself into a trade because one, I'm bored, or two, I want to make back profits, or three, I don't want to make sure I don't want to miss a move that occurs that day. So I don't know. I think it's just I just gotta be disciplined to only take those good trades. Just wait for them to come along and take them, and then just when I'm done, when I'm done with it, and take one or two trades. Just be done. I mean, that's it. That's just. I feel like maybe there's. I think that there maybe needs to be more to trading than that. But that's really that all trading is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So. It's just very psychological for me. It's just like because I know I can place good trades. That's no question. But it's just only trading those good trades that come along. Only those ones. Not anyone else. Just only those ones.
Okay. Do you have any like structure in your life, like outside of trading? Like you do this every day, or you get up at this time, or anything that you're disciplined in your normal life with?
Like that something that I do every single day.
Yeah.
Other than telling my mom I love her.
Doesn't count. What a great thing to do.
I don't think there's something I do every single day. Maybe learn Spanish for 10 minutes on my phone. Do push-ups every day, every time I wake up in the morning.
Okay. That would work. The push-ups.
Yeah, I've been doing that for like the last 2 weeks, and I'm just trying to build my discipline like that. Just like 30 push-ups. That's it. And just do it every single morning I wake up.
And is there anything else besides I think the push-up one was good. Do you have anything else like that you do every single day, no matter what? You're up and you do it, and then like no excuses, you just get it done. Is there anything else like that?
Not every day, no.
Okay. Maybe try finding something that you could do and see if that would build your discipline, like just your like skill of discipline in general, which would then make your discipline in trading better then too. So I mean, it doesn't matter what, even if it's like you just sit down and do something you don't really like to do, but you know it'll be good for you in the future. You just make sure you do that every day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, what I can do is I can read like, even if it's like for 5 minutes or like 3 minutes, I'll just like pick up the book that I have right here. I'll just do that.
Okay.
Or just read the book for like 5 minutes and like do push-ups every single morning. Just make sure I just do those two things every single morning for the next 3 months. And then just by making it like a habit to be disciplined, maybe I'll start to be more disciplined in my trading and only take those good trades and then just walk away when everything else is walk away at the end.
Yep. So I was thinking that too, Sam. So do you see what Sam put in the Zoom chat? He asked if what you're talking about and going through was related to last week, or if this is more of a general always thing. Because if it's just last week, I think whatever happened last week, just kind of erase it and start fresh this week, and then see what happens. And if you get the same result as last week, then maybe last week being not so great wasn't the issue. It was something you did. But if you do fine this week, maybe it just was the market was really tough, and that is what it was. But how can you just kind of minimize when the week is like that again? So if you lost 5% last week, maybe next time the market moves like crap like that, try to lose 1 to 2%, and just like minimize it a little bit, and then eventually maybe break even on a week like that, or get a little bit into profit, and just slowly make that bad week not so bad. But do you think it was just last week, or do you think that's more like something you always do, regardless of if it moves a lot or not?
Regardless, because I look at some of my trades from 2-3 weeks ago, and they're just like it's the same psychology affecting my trades. It's still the same thing. It's still talking myself into like bad trades. Talking myself in bad trades. 1, because I'm bored. 2, because I'm want to make back profits from a previous loss, or 3, because I don't know, just maybe I get some excitement from trading and I want to place a winning trade and say, "Woo, I placed a winning trade," or I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
So it's last week.
I'm back.
I don't know. It's
I think you're thinking. I think you're thinking too much. I think you just need to, whatever. Like, you're doing the same kind of strategy and rules right every day. Like, not including if you overtrade. It's always the same kind of trade, right? Or no?
Yeah, it's always generally the same kind of trade.
Okay. I think you just need to just think less and make sure it's the same thing every day. Win or lose. Maybe just this week do 1 trade every session this week. Win or lose, and then be done, and then see what the end of the week looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you journal your charts every day too, right?
Yeah, journal, and then I update my goals and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say journaling every day is gonna help too.
Oh yeah, definitely journal. Like I don't think it's a question that I can place good trades. I just think that I'm just trying to do too much, and in trading, you don't need to do too much. You just do that much, and that's good enough for trading.
Yeah, you don't need to do a lot. I mean, would you say all of your entries are the same?
Yeah, they're all breaks of highs, and
Okay, that's good. Like, no exceptions. Every trade has that requirement to enter.
Yeah, breaks of highs or lows.
Is that even when you overtrade too? Do you follow that rule still?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. But overtrading's not good. But that rule is good, because then your entries are going to be consistent.
Yeah, so I can analyze the data consistently.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then there's no other variables.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can place good trade. Like, I really can. I can do good analysis, like you said I can. It's just I know I can be better, and I know I can be more disciplined. So I just need to be that instead of talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's harder said than done, but I mean, I think that is all you need to do, is you just need to do it. And like, that is what it is. So, I mean, just send me all those charts for the week, and we'll see. Maybe there's just one little thing wrong. Like, you don't struggle with zones or anything like that, right?
No, I don't struggle with zones. I always trade my own analysis, and I place good trades. Like, my account is growing, and then I end up giving it back with just just my psychology is just not in the right place. So I'll send you my trades, and this week I'm really gonna try and get rid of those fear-driven trades and just be patient and just try as hard as I can. Just be patient, and just wait, not talk myself into bad trades, or just yeah.
I think maybe plan out your trades before you know what you're gonna do. Maybe map out. You'll take a buy if it does this. You'll take a sell if it does this. Because then it's in front of you. You've ran it out. You plan what you're gonna do beforehand. It fits your rules. You take it. Because then you can review your planning, can't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I would advise.
I think somebody once said, it may have been Uncle Ted, like take the money element out of it. Like don't think about like what money you're making or losing. Try and refine your process. So if you was told just take one good trade a day or a session, then you'd be really like you really literally had one shot, then you'd wait for the sort of best possible setup, right? So I guess that will potentially, I mean, I'm yet to implement that myself because I've overtraded a little bit because of trying to make up for losses. But now I'm remembering this. I want to try and implement it myself. Forget the monetary side of it. Just if I was told to refine my process, refine my trades, then to sort of execute only the best trade, even if it's one or two.
Yeah, I think just take the money side out of it, take the winning and losing out of it, and just try to keep taking the same trade every time and make sure that's consistent, and then eventually you're just going to have more wins than losses. Obviously you got to review them and figure out why you lost, but if you're just focusing on taking like a bearish candle at resistance at a new low every time, or a bullish candle at support with a new high, if you just focus on that, you're not going to worry about all these what ifs. Like, what if I lose? What if it does this here? What if it wicks me out here? What if I enter and it I lose? Like, you kind of eliminate that by not overthinking or worrying about what could happen. It's like, I think Rakil said this one time, is everyone always says like, oh, what if I lose, or what if it does this? Like, what if you win? Like, you got to look at it that way too. You can't just be 80% what if I lose, 20% what if I win, because I mean it should at least be 50-50 worst case scenario. Because I mean that's technically what the chance you have is 50-50.
Yeah, when you do the same exact thing every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really liked it when I heard him say that all that time ago, whenever it was. But I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I enjoy trading, and over trading. I mean, I don't know. I don't take 40 trades or 20 trades or 10 trades or 5 trades. It's never more than 3 or 4 trades, but that's even that much is too much.
I was gonna say, for me with the planning, it kind of got to a point where I used to plan it out to the point that now I just can look at it and already know what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? I don't even have to have it written out in front of me anymore. So I'd write the same thing over and over again, and then it just got so embedded exactly what I was looking for that I don't even need to write it down.
That's good. Yeah, repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Repeating the same setup, repeating the same type of trade. I mean, you're bound to just, hardwired into your thinking when you're at the charts. I mean, and you always want to hardwire good things and not bad things.
Yeah, I mean, I've put a lot of time into back testing, so I think that's what's really given me that, like, you know, constantness. Does that make sense? Because obviously you can take your live, but then if you add that with the simulations, then it's almost like you're just doing that so much more. And with the simulations, it's a lot quicker, isn't it? So you're going through, say, if you did a couple of weeks, you're going through a week. You could do a week's worth of data in an hour and a half. You know what I mean? That's how roughly around I do. So say an hour and a half, and you've covered a week's worth of Asian session. So if you spent 5 hours a week, you've now done nearly a month's worth of data. If you do it properly and take it slow with reading candles, like as if it was alive, then you're only going to benefit. Forget the money, forget the because it's not real emotion. Forget the psychology side. It's about doing the same thing over and over and over again, knowing exactly what to do. And then if you implement that into your life, then the psychology surely would be easier a little bit to some extent, I suppose.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to
Because it's
that.
just strategic. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's systematic, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's to the point you just go, right, yeah, I know what to do, where put stop loss. And then if it plays out, it plays out. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I agree with that. And Paul's simulation this weekend helped me a lot as well.
Thank you. So Nathan, you see what I don't know if you have a mic, but do you see what I drew on the chart? So
What was that, bro?
I was just saying. So I drew on the chart, the screen. This is kind of what you're risking, and this is what you're gaining right here.
Yeah.
If you had the stop loss under this candle, you can turn this into a much better win, versus if it breaks below here. I think there's gonna be a higher chance it's gonna come back down to like this support area.
Yeah. This trade was, since there's resistance right there, this trade is pretty risky. I traded my stop below like the 30-minute low right there, but like my initial risk was this trade right here.
Gotcha. Hopefully that plays out. I would just, this resistance here, I would just be careful with whatever happens right here.
Yeah.
I think GJ is gonna come up right now.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like it coming up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we need to be careful how it wicks into that area.
Mhm.
That's what I'd be looking at, because last time, if you look at what previous candles have done, they've rejected this area. So for this to be, eradicated, there needs to be some form of close in this area, because that's like the candle doing what all the other candles couldn't do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the probability of us continuing up is a lot higher. But now if you're anticipating that, because GJ likes to fake out, you could be maybe waiting to see what the next 30 minutes going to do before you look at taking buys. Because if we're going to fall back, we might close back in this range and then continue down to support like what we saw last week. Because right now, is there going to be a lot of that weekly momentum? I'm not sure. But maybe a quick buys could work, maybe quick sells. But
Just
yeah.
waiting right now, sitting on the hands. Sitting on the hands.
Yeah, I think a good entry would be after a retest, like on a 30-minute that we kept seeing, and then it would wake up and come back down.
You're talking about fake out?
Yeah, like on the 30-minute, I think a good entry will be once price breaks past this resistance, and then the next 15-minute or the 30-minute does a retest, and then continues back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be ideally the most ideal scenario. That would be really nice.
Yeah, that's the only time I would take these entries because it's been doing a lot of fake outs and I don't want to get wicked out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting right now.
Yeah.
Interesting to see if like we see maybe two 15-minute candles just kind of consolidate right here, and then maybe closer to open we break those lows and come back down. You can kind of visualize that. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm okay trading inside the range towards closer to open.
Yeah, I think that makes sense with as long as you're kind of anticipating that volume to open it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right, Luffy. Ooh, I like your line. 4-hour bearish. Yep. Perfect. There's 1 hour, so yeah, that probably is that 4-hour. And then that support. Yep, that's exactly the target I have. That was on the 2-hour. Looks pretty much the same. Maybe a wick fill. Yep, so yeah, under here down, maybe over here up would be, that's kind of what I'm looking for as well. What up, Gasman? We got your chart here. You're in a buy, okay. Entry at new high of 1 hour and 30 minute. Yeah, stop loss below the current. Okay, so you probably did the previous 1 hour. Got it. Yeah, I think if as long as we break through resistance to go up, I think that would be good. Nope, expecting pre-Asian push to the upside. Yep. The only thing I would be worried about is that pre-Asian push to the upside could be these candles up to here. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully that'll play out for you before or after open, wherever we kind of get. Yep. Be back in a second.
Hey Sharma, what are the news events looking like for this week?
We have a lot of GDP news coming out, but I think the forecast looks pretty good for them. So I think we'll probably push up. We'll have another bullish, and then until like around Thursday, Friday is when we'll probably start seeing this come back down.
Okay. So, alright. So like, is there like how many red folders are there?
There are, for GBP, there's not a lot. I don't even think there's one, but it's I look at the overall economics. So, for example, money supply, that's going to tell us, that forecast what's going to happen in the future. And then, yeah, so if they increase the money supply, like we have 1.6% forecast, then that means that they'll probably have a decrease in the interest rates, or they're going to have more like expansionary policies coming out, weakening GBP. But if it's right at 1.5 or below that, then that means that's going to strengthen GBP. And then the mortgage approvals kind of fall into that entire, like, what monetary policies are we going to see. And then Governor Bailey speaks, that's kind of what, or that has a higher impact on GBP. Consumer confidence is going to play into what policies can we see in the future. And then the unemployment rate for JPY is obviously going to affect GBP, JPY here, our pair. And then the industrial production, that's gonna tell us that if the economy is like opening up, or if it's still on a lockdown, like what's happening with that.
What is that one?
The prelim industrial production,
What day is that on?
that is on Monday, so that is tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's basically like, for example, right now in the US, we're seeing a lot of shortage with gym equipment, for like home gym equipment. If you try to look for dumbbells or anything like that,
Uh-huh.
you can't really find them anywhere. But once the economy opens up and the gym and all of them open up, we're gonna see like industrial production increase. So that's gonna contribute to a stronger economy overall.
Mhm.
It's the same thing if you apply it to the Japanese yen. And then business investment is another thing that's gonna contribute to the policies as well. So I think this week we're gonna have pretty strong numbers coming out,
Mhm.
and that's gonna give us that top wick for the weekly weekly candle. And then around Thursday and Friday, we can expect this pair to come right back down.
Okay. So the money supply. So that's literally like.
Like how much money is the government
Uh-huh.
putting into the economy?
Oh.
So they put in more money when they need to boost the consumer confidence,
Uh-huh.
and they need to increase more investments and stuff like that. And then it's pretty much to stimulate the economy. And then when they take out or decrease the money supply, they're saying that, okay, our economy is good enough. It's, we could increase our interest rates now.
So
And
because people can afford higher interest rates.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's. Huh. Yeah. Isn't the pound kind of like the pound is kind of like one of those currencies. Like, I mean, so you have like the dollar. So like the dollar is like the king currency.
Right.
The like safe haven currency that
Right.
one goes to, like he buys, like
Right.
when there's everything going on, there's lots of panic and stuff. People go and buy the dollar because it's the dollar.
Right.
But then like the euro is kind of like what everyone goes to when they don't want to go to the dollar. It's kind of like I don't know. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like its own thing. It's kind of like you got the euro and then you got the dollar. It's like the euro is in second place, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
euro, GBP, and dollar, they're up there. Those are the strongest currencies in the world.
yeah. And then the GBP is like, I mean, Great Britain, the economy isn't it heavily based off of like manufacturing and stuff?
Yeah, all of that, and it was also that it was kind of feeding off of the entire European Union that it was part of.
Oh.
And so when we first started hearing about Brexit happening and like the talks and all that stuff, almost every economist was like, well, if the Brexit talk falls through and they don't really get anything done, then you can expect the pound to drop. But they also said that in the long term, GBP is always going to stay a strong currency. It's always going to be a strong currency.
Yeah, it's a pretty well accepted global safe haven. GBP is gonna. I mean, obviously, short term with Brexit news could push it down, but
Right.
long term, it's gonna be there forever.
Yeah,
Well, for the next couple decades, I'd say you could bet on.
definitely.
Mhm.
I was also reading a couple of studies over the weekend and found out that the Chinese dollar is actually, they turn to the US dollar, like they're backed by the US dollar. Their entire system is kind of based on the US dollar.
Their currency is also highly manipulated, so there's also that.
Mm-hmm.
It's artificially they push it down on purpose in order to have it benefit them.
Yeah,
That's
they
why
they officially inflate it and deflate it, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you pull up a chart of the USD like Chinese one, it prints side by side a lot of the time. You can't even really trade it, and that's the reason why.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever looked at a chart for China before.
It also kind of made sense with what I was talking about last week, where if the U.S. and China trade deal kind of falls through and it doesn't happen, then China's going to turn to the Japanese yen, or not the Japanese market, to start trading with them, and that's what kind of pushed the JPY up and dropped. We saw that huge drop in GJ last week when that news came out.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of because of that, because everyone had already anticipated that, well, if this talk falls through, then China is turning to the Japanese yen, which is going to strengthen the yen at that point. And that's why GJ dropped, because the yen had gained some strength at that point, just because of that news.
Just because they said that we're going to start dealing with Japan more.
They didn't like specifically say that in the news. It was when the news came out that the trade talks are falling through, or it's not going to happen, something like that. And then like 30 minutes after that, another news came out where the guy was like, no, well, they took all my words out of context. If you guys remember that. So everyone knew before that news came out that, well, if the trade talks don't happen between China and the United States, then China is going to turn to Japan for it. And so that's why, like, just that news kind of stimulated that move. That's what kind of gave the yen that strength, because everyone's like, well, okay, if the talks are canceling, then China's turning to the yen now. And that's where you saw the investors come in, investing in the yen.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I wonder how that's going to play out. I mean, China, yeah, I mean, shoot. Like, they're so big. They're huge. They have like 1.2 billion people. Oh my gosh. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of consumers.
Yeah. And even like if the trade deal falls through, that is still going to affect the yen, because the Japanese market, or the Japanese, still want to trade with the United States. So they don't really want to get caught up in all of that.
Mm-hmm.
GJ's pushing down. Kind of saw that coming. Got
Yeah.
these nice, clean, weaker candles coming up like we normally see, and then we see the bigger ones take it in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it took 45 minutes just to barely fill this wick, and then we're reversing right away. None of these candles closed above here, so a 30-minute close would be good.
We've got a small yellow folder news to it in 20 minutes, but it's just retail sales. But it'd be nice if it opens and it's negative and moves in the direction we're already moving, because that might help it move a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's going to create a wick. Really small. Yeah. You'll probably see a spike up or down, and then just continuation.
Yeah, I was thinking about placing a sell, but I don't know, wasn't enough confirmation for me.
I think we break that 30-minute low, I'll jump in. It's only a 10 pip stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. That would be, we're gonna come to break there, and then we'll probably come down at least another 8-9 pips down to support.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your stop gonna be above the current?
Yeah, if this one, it'll be above, if this 30-minute breaks, it'll be right above the current 30-minute. If we break. Yeah. Because I believe that the resistance is going to hold and support is going to break. Because if we look, this support was created during New York session. This support was created when the volume was no longer there. So this resistance is kind of this support. So this, I believe, should hold over this. Plus the higher time frame is clean underneath this. So the support is just kind of lack of volume, not necessarily resisting anything, just kind of, or like keeping price from going down, just sort of there was nobody there to finish doing anything with price. Because this is where they wanted it to get to. That's where it got to. So that's kind of my idea. See if it plays out.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean. I think we can come back down to support too. I mean, looks like we're just kind of drying up on volume and trying to go up to resistance right there.
Yep, 4 hour kind of just made a top wick, didn't break the previous, so we'll see. I think I like it. It makes sense from what I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be able to get a smaller stop if on the new 30-minute pulls back a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We got a minute left.
Yo,
Yep.
what's good?
Just watching GJ.
Yeah, I've been on the phone a little bit, so I've been paying attention, but I ain't taking it off mute because I was on the phone, man.
Appreciate it.
Obviously. What's good? Where we seeing this? Where we seeing this GJ going to, man?
If it gets any lower, I'm gonna be getting in for sales.
I got in because I thought it was gonna range down to this to the 32,100. I figured it's definitely gonna hit there. What it does after that, I'm not sure. Whether it's gonna range and sit in there or if it's actually gonna go through.
Yeah, I think we're gonna break support.
You think so?
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, if that's the case. That's the over hold. I figured it was definitely going to hit support, so that should be 10 pips for me. That would be cool.
Oh, you got in up at the top here?
Yeah,
Nice. Where'd you put your stop?
just above.
Okay, nice. We'll see where we go.
Yeah, I'm going to be a lot more involved this week, man. No more distractions. We're trying to do up the house a lot, but, you know, I've got a lot less distractions this week, man.
Nice. I think the chat and the Zoom's been missing you a little bit.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'll be on this week, man. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? I feel like I missed the family for a minute, man.
You missed all our family dinners every week.
Wow.
Yo, this thing trying to pull back, huh?
Kind of didn't have much of a bottom wick though, really. The last day.
This 132 area is a very strong support, so I think if we break that, we could like rally down to the 130 area or 131 area.
Like 131 900 is kind of what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
$141 900.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Oh, actually, my target's like kind of below yours. It's at 131 on the daily time frame.
Gotcha. Oh. Not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move this horizontal. Oh, there we go. Now I can move it. Perfect. Yeah, I threw less risk at it. I only threw 1% instead of the normal 2. So we'll see.
That because it's a Sunday.
Yep. Yeah.
Are you in the trade or you put the sell stop?
Oh no, I'm in. I got in once we broke here, and then it just ended up closing right here. So whatever. Typically when they close with no bottom wick like that, which technically it did have a little bit of a bottom wick, but my MT4 doesn't have a bottom wick. If I get in, so I got in once we broke this low and then it closed like this, then I just let it do its thing. But if this candle were to close like this and then I look to enter below it, then that's when I don't execute. I like to enter when there's a wick. So if I didn't get in, I would be waiting probably for down here. But since we broke that 30-minute low, kind of formed this lower high to this lower high to this one to this one to this one, I think we're going to be coming down. And if we don't, then we don't. Threw less risk at it, so wherever we go, we go.
Oh, this thing's pulling up crazy. It just dropped and came back. 132, 131, 9.
But our previous hourly didn't have a top wick either, so there's that.
I'm just looking at the 4. Hold up, at the 4 hour now. Hold up.
I'm just sitting on my hands right now.
bad idea.
Okay, I see it. 132.9. I see what you see there.
Mm-hmm.
The 900. 131 900.
Yep. Yeah, it's really clean.
I don't know what this is doing.
That sucks, JR. I hope we're going down. Hey, man. Fit my rules, so. Yeah, if it breaks this bearish 30 minute, then I think we're going to be going up to 132.700.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. It's annoying, but it doesn't happen that often when your entries are good. Just annoying when it does happen.
DJ playing with my emotions, bro.
What's up?
Nah, DJ's playing games, man. Pull him back.
Yeah, I mean, it's either going up or down.
GJ's teaching the lesson of patience to a lot of traders right now.
I'm gonna close one of my positions anyway, just in case. Perfect timing.
Yeah, because if it breaks that, then this hourly will go bullish. We'll see. No, mine did not gap up. Yeah, it did gap up a little bit, Gerza. It did.
Hey Harrison,
Yo, bro.
are you still looking for buys?
I'm not looking for anything right now. We're still ranging, so I'm just gonna chill and see what happens. I'll be having to wait at least till Asian Open because I'm waiting for a close. So we'll see where this 30-minute closes. That's what I'll be looking at.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't even make a low on this 30 minute. It just went up.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna place a buy if it breaks the high right there on the 30-minute.
What, at a 350?
Or yeah, 280.
I think full confirmation is the 350.
Yeah,
But
that's a better
Ain't
confirmation.
been up there. Go, man. Like,
I think you should wait for a close. It would be the best confirmation.
what, above?
Yeah, I'm anticipating some volume right now, so.
Yeah, if it breaks that 30 minute, then the hourly flips and that was just the bottom wick.
We just retraced. We just retraced in like. It was only 10 minutes. So.
Yeah, it was a big retracement. Probably break that 30 minute, but oh well. So I threw less risk at it. Yep. Yeah, it's right there.
Paul.
Yep.
So, do you mind me just quickly running through my idea here? What happens in the next 20 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, what is it? If you go to the 30-minute, that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Please, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, the way I'm seeing is if we can get a candle close above this area. Because you know how I was saying about rejection and how you drew a box like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look about it like that, anytime we've tapped into this price area, we've rejected from whether it be from to go up or to go down.
Yep.
So for no longer to be a rejection to pull down, where I see it is we need to see this candle maybe close something like this, or a bit higher up to this wick here to the left, and then I can say, okay, now possibly think maybe target up into this area here. You can take partials, and then if you get this candle come up here, then you've hit your TP level up over here. That's how I would see it for buys, because maybe get that volume to push up. Because if you think about it, we've had this whole bearish move down. So this was just where there was just a little time of lack of volume, but if there's gonna be volume to go up, then naturally we should maybe just correct this whole zone and maybe retest this resistance. That's how I see it. So that would be my buys.
That's
Yeah.
already
I think the buys make sense now that we broke a bearish candle like that.
all the bears has come.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hourly close would be.
I agree with that, Harrison. Because that was exactly my thought process when I mapped out my buys and sells.
But see, the difference to the downside is that we've got that bearish trend. So there'll be more momentum towards if that makes sense. Whereas here we're rejecting from now recently to pull back to this support. So for it not to do that again, we need to see a candle close in this area. Obviously, if it runs, then I just won't take it because that's just missed the move. But I'm also looking into in the next few months. I've been noticing that say we get a nice clean candle come up and break resistance and close above, and then say we do get a fake out, it seems to always fall to support if we have a clean candle. So I'm looking at over the next couple of months, looking at maybe how I could implement them if they're profitable towards my trading. Then it's a potential thing.
So you're saying trying to catch the second half of the fake out?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I wanna be secure in my buys if we're breaking above first. But I'm saying if we fake out, then I suppose there's now the confirmation this was a definite fake out. If I get the same on the reverse, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
So if we just fall straight through, there's no trade for me. But if we close back in the range and I get a retest and then a break of the low, then I can say with the clean candle to the left, we should fall to support. That's how I would see it. And I've been watching it for a while. But to be honest, I might not. It's just something to look at. Maybe it might, because if typically when there's not a lot of volume, is what it likes to do. It's just to fall back to support and then just range.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I would just view it that even though you see this bullish candle start to pushing up, don't get FOMO and take a buy, because there's no confirmations for buys right now.
Yeah, I don't think that bullish candle means buys yet.
No.
No.
So don't get FOMO.
Is it different? Is it different because I planned out this trade and I was looking? I was sitting on my hands and I didn't feel comfortable with sells.
If you planned it out, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I was, as it started to pull up, I wasn't comfortable taking sells. So as it started to pull up, I was like, oh, well, we're at resistance. I mean, if we're really coming down from resistance, then we'll respect the current or the previous 30-minute high. So I kind of planned it out in my head, and now I'm up about 4 or 5 pips. So
yeah,
I don't think it's a FOMO. I don't think it's a FOMO trade for me. I think it was like, okay.
No, it's not because you planned it.
Yeah, I sat on my hands. I'm not just jumping in like last minute.
If it fits your rules and you planned it, then that's what you that's spot on. You're gonna learn better doing that consistently. Because if you haven't planned it, oh sorry, go on.
No, go ahead, finish.
I was just gonna say, because if you haven't planned it, then well, really and truly, it kind of is a FOMO trade, isn't it? Because it's because you didn't anticipate it, and now you're like, oh yeah, I like that idea, and you kind of talk yourself into it, and then you think, yeah, I'll take that, and then before you know it, you've taken a second loss. So I just think, plan it out. You know what you look. If you know what you want to look for, then just plan and execute. Simple.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I look back on this trade and it's lost, turns out to be a loss, then I'm not gonna like. How can I be upset, or how can I be discouraged or disappointed, or if it was logical to me, I waited for it, and then I had the confidence to actually execute on it.
Look, bro, if I think any lack of confidence is just purely to, like, you need to keep practicing, if that makes sense, to build the confidence. Not everything takes time, so the more you practice, the more confident you're going to be. It's just like anything, isn't it? So if it's a lack of confidence, just stick with it, keep planning, and I would definitely recommend like trying to back test, or even just go through the charts, look at all Asian sessions. That's what, I've gone out, I used to map out all my trades I would have taken, so risk to reward, and looked at all them type of things as back testing before I even started simulations. So I think you can constantly look at, constantly keep building the confidence every day. Just do something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually journal some of my trades and my simulation trades. I journal them in Trello as well, and it's try to keep it really organized, and I treat it as like a normal trade where I detail, okay, I made this many pips, it was at this time, I lost or made this much percent, these are the reasons I took the trade, stuff like that. It's kind of hard to journal like the psychological part of backtesting, I find, because it's not actual like real time. I mean, I guess you could backtest in real time.
Yeah, you could you could just use a really small position, something you're not bothered about losing. But one thing I would say is just in terms of the backtesting, I understand about the psychology side, but in terms of a confidence side, of your analysis, you're going to be much more confident executing. So then you feel more confident that, okay, I'm going to let this play out because I've seen this happen over and over again. I've tested this over and over, and I know what I'm doing. So the psychology will just come with me keeping my losses small, and no revenge trading and no FOMO. And if you just stick to your plan that you've put that time into, then you're going to have much better confidence, honestly.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, Yeah,
How long have you been trading, Dorian? Like regularly, with rules and like I know you're working with Paul and stuff. Like from that, where you've sort of had a plan in place. How long has that been going for you?
We'll say 3 months in 2018, and then 6 months since December last year.
Okay, so you've been going like steady for 9 months now.
And I'm starting to see some consistency.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's holding me back right now is my FOMO trades. Like I'm able to place good trades, but it's just the fear-driven trades are what is making my equity curve go down. So it's just psychological for me right now.
Yeah. Sorry, just real quick. That JP retail sales came out. It was better than forecast, or no, it was worse than forecasted. Just for anyone who buys, it's a small yellow folder, but just wanted to let you know that. But sorry, continue, Dorian. I just wanted to share that.
Oh yeah, no, I was done.
Okay. Yeah, I think for the thing too is like you can't be too hard on yourself. You know, a lot of these guys that are being extremely successful have been doing it for years. You know, I've kind of set aside the first year of real dedication just as pure learning for me, and not being too hard on myself with, you know, being super profitable every single week. You're going to have those off weeks, just kind of staying consistent. And I've kind of committed that full year for me of learning and then kind of evaluate myself after that.
Yeah, I agree. I can be really hard on myself for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like you're being a little too, like, I mean, everyone has those weeks, and I think what Harrison said, back testing, and that helps. But in the end, it's 9 months in. You're never going to be an expert that quickly, so definitely cut yourself a little slack.
Yeah, anything in 9 months, yeah. I agree, excuse me. Yeah, definitely, yeah. No, I can definitely be very hard on myself.
Most people are. I mean, like when you lose a trade, you feel like you did something completely wrong and you need to reevaluate your whole strategy. Like, I mean, like I just hit stop loss. Like I entered and it just went straight to stop loss. Like, I mean, didn't play out.
I gotta change my strategy now.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, I gotta go change my strategy now. I mean, it is what it is. It was either going up or going down. I thought we were going down. We went up. Oops. Like, I mean, you can't beat yourself up.
Yeah. I don't know. I might close if we don't get a push up in the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll see what Asian Open does. It's either going to do something or it's not. So.
It's either going to go up or it's going to go down.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I thought we were going to go down, but we didn't. So, Sundays always tend to do that to me. So.
Good thing you risked 1% today.
Yeah, I started doing less on Sunday, Mondays just because it tends to do that a lot. So, I mean, maybe the better trade was down here. Obviously, with like the original entry I had breaking this should have been what I waited for, but I just liked how this was kind of lower high here, still respecting resistance, breaking lows of 30-minute candles, but then this one didn't even get below this one, so then there was no more further move down. Oh my god. Okay. We're gonna time out the whole chat today. Jesus.
You might get mad at me for this, but I sometimes I look at the 1 minute for like the price structure, just because I kind of like looking at price structure. You see how price structure is forming, whether it's on the 1 minute or the 1 month chart.
Well, with the chart that you just pulled up for my 1 hour or 2 hour time frame.
Yep, I'll pull that up now. I gotta step away real quick. You can walk through that if you want.
Okay. Well, this is the same exact setup that we saw on the monthly. So if you could go on the monthly real quick, then I can explain it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a sec.
Okay. But on the monthly this month, we saw price wick up and then reject that area. But it's the exact same thing that we're seeing on the 1 hour and the 2 hour here, where we had price on the left here, the wicks. It did the same thing where it kind of served as a resistance. So I think if price does shoot up here, it's going to come to this 132.591 area and then not exactly that price level, but in that range there, and then create a wick down. It looks like the exact same setup as the monthly.
Yeah, I remember watching one of Wakil's webinars, and he's talking about how people in the chat that are watching the webinar are like, "Oh, what time frame is this? What time frame is this?" He's like, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what time frame it is. It's just a candle. It's just candles, just reading candles."
Yeah, so if this 30-minute closes above this area, probably maybe a nice little pullback at this point. Be nice to start looking for buys at that point.
Harrison, would a close where the current 30 candle is be strong enough for you to say it closed strongly above that resistance and then take maybe a retest of that high once it pulls back on the next 30?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think I just want it to not close with no wick to the top. I want it to have a little bit. So if we pull back a little bit, I'm happy as long as it closes above this area.
Yeah.
Because obviously at that point it's done what each of these candles couldn't do. So it's now the probability is starting to shift. So yeah, definitely at that point will my bias be now buys once we close above this area.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a close above 313. That's what I have marked right now. 132, 313. We can close above that.
I think any close around that sort of area is a good enough confirmation. I just don't want it to close back below because it could easily be done in the last 30 seconds. It just pulls back below that resistance, and then now for me I can't take a buy because we haven't broke resistance.
Yeah.
So, and because this candle now has done the same as all of them, if we close below, now the probability for me is back to 50-50 because it's just done exactly what they've all done. So if it means no trade, it means no trade. If it just breaks up, that's just the way I see it.
Yeah, hopefully we get a strong close here and then we can see a nice maybe pull back, tap that resistance, turn support, and then enter on the break.
Yeah, definitely. But I'd see a nice bottom wick, and then if we do start coming up, breaking the highs over here, we can anticipate volume to continue pushing up. So that'll be my trade for this session.
Yeah, this hourly's got to close above there.
Yeah, hourly will close above, and then hourly looks clean as well. So I think we've got a lot of strength in that direction once those conditions happen.
It'll be a very weak bearish 15-minute candle close, and a very strong 30-minute close, and a very strong 1 hour close.
Yeah, I don't really look at the 15-minute, to be honest. I'm more focusing on just higher time frame. I do sometimes look at it in terms of like, how on the wicks, that was obviously like a 15-minute like support or resistance, say, because obviously it just pulls straight back and then it closes with a wick on a 30-minute. So I can understand what's happening on the smaller time frames, but I just, if you just see it as If you just look, I think I get better confirmations.
I'm just looking at the hourly close,
Looking at
and it closed just now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've closed above that area now.
That
So
hourly pattern looks like bullish.
yeah, I'll be.
So I'd be very surprised if it doesn't pay out.
DJ alert. Darwin at DJ alert.
Who's got a GJ alert thing going on?
That's my GJ alert.
What is it, like a trade view thing or what?
I actually got buys.
Right as it broke? Yeah, I was kind of waiting for it to wick, but it might not make one.
Yeah, I always get in once it breaks. So I'm just looking at. I'm gonna allow it to make the bottom wick and then hopefully continue up. But if it starts breaking below this range, then I'll probably close 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, when this candle started, I got in.
Nice. Where'd you put your stop?
My stop would be around minimum 10 pips.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Ooh,
Well, are you guys in for buys or sells here?
I'm not in at all yet.
Okay. 'Cause I thought somebody else got in.
I'm in for buys, or I've been in buys. I'm closing right now. Damn.
I think that bull candle was just like a investor sentiment buildup for that news that came out.
Oh wow, yeah.
It does like to reverse too at the open hour here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by investor sentiment? Like, what are you talking about, Sharma?
So the news that came out for retail sales
Yeah.
at JPY. So whoever just trades solely based off of fundamentals. So that bull candle that pushed up on the last 15 or the 30 minute, that was probably just the sentiment that everyone thought that it's gonna be better. That because the forecast was better than previous, so everybody thought that the JPY sales are gonna be better than the last month or whenever that previous came out. So that's why they were trying to hop into those buys.
Got it.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. I actually closed at like 7 pips, minus 7 pips. I did not. That would just look like it was just coming right down. So I'm just
Yeah,
gonna.
close for 7 pips as
You
well.
managed that pretty good then.
Yeah.
That went quick. That was
Yeah, that went
good.
mad.
Yeah.
Probably just the way it's moving like that. Don't know if it doesn't close, say back below support now, like below it, as if it was a complete fake out to come down, and otherwise then I am not taking no trade.
Yeah, I got in when we broke that 30 minute again. Did like a 10 pip stop.
It looked like the support break and a quick retest and continuation down. But sometimes GJ just rallies down, so.
Yep, yeah. Anticipating open to have volume. If we don't, then we don't.
Yeah, we closed quite strong above that area, so.
Yeah, we broke
That's
the
pretty-
hourly. Broke that
I
hourly low
think we
though.
have higher lows and we're going up.
We have a lower low on the hourly though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of the. It's just that probability that it doesn't work out, you know.
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah, you're right, Paul. That hourly did break the previous.
So that'd be a fake out up, and we should fall down and break support. But we'll see. Same idea, just another try. Doesn't work out, doesn't work out.
it might just range.
Yeah. Definitely possible. Where's my mouse? There we go.
Yeah, I'll probably wait for his candle to close and then call it.
Nice, Frankie. I think he caught that from the top.
Yeah, I'm just glad I managed my risk on that one.
What'd you do?
Yeah, me
Where
too.
was your original stop at?
So I had it kind of like middle of the range, like 132 to 240 area.
Okay.
And then the way that it started breaking up, I was anticipating that it should just continue moving up. And then once I saw it come down to do a retest, I thought, okay, it should start flipping bullish because the way that it started. And then once it started coming back into resistance, I closed 50%. And then just before it was about to hit my stop loss, I closed a little bit more, like 8 pips.
Nice.
So I just, you're not really expecting such a big pullback back into the range at this point.
No.
Especially the way we closed strong bullish, and like I said, this candle done everything that all the other candles couldn't do. So, based on that, I planned it and I took it. So, for me, it's just that small probability that it doesn't work out. So I'm gonna take it happen again tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, I followed my plan to the T.
Yeah.
I was up a little bit more than halfway to my TP. And I was thinking about just closing because it wasn't moving in the time frame that I anticipated it would move in. So, I don't know, I closed for a loss. Took a half loss halfway to my stop loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, kept it small and followed my plan. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, that was, I guess, a fake out. Just hit our stop loss and went up.
Well, I think we need to see where this candle closes.
Bro, this thing is even mad.
Yeah, GGL is playing around again tonight.
Yep.
And if it comes all the way back up to the highs again, oh, jeez.
The only way I'd re-enter for buy is if this candle comes up and closes bullish. Then maybe I got a much better confirmation now that this was just a really big grab to continue up. So unless that really happens or a break below support down at 132, 150 within the next 30 minutes, calling it a night. So I think we're just going to range. It could do it later on in the session, but
Yeah, just looking at how price has been moving, like even last week with all the range, doesn't really do much at the open besides just come back right into the range, and then at the next hourly or so is when price starts coming down again and starts following that entire movement, the entire overall trend.
Yeah, it'd been nice if it made that bottom wick first, and then I wouldn't have got in.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't go down, then volume clearly didn't take us anywhere, and we don't go anywhere, and we stay in this range, and that is what it is. So.
Yo, Josh.
Yep.
Yeah, nah, this thing is moving mad. Like.
GJ kind of just said screw everyone the last week or so.
Yeah, last week wasn't that bad for me, because I wasn't at the chart. Like, I was only trading 3 days last week, so it wasn't terrible, but everything I saw when I pulled it up when I was out was just terrible. Yeah.
Didn't care for anybody.
No.
Yeah, no. Unruly.
Well, on a positive note for me, I have another video too.
Get it?
So, I'm happy. I'm even happy if I lose.
Musicians have trusted Shure on stage and in the studio for decades.
Come on, D-boy. Oh, Josh is here. Wow. Yeah, so since we broke that hourly, that's kind of the same sell I was looking at earlier, so we'll see what happens, but if we stay in this area, then Asian's not going to go anywhere, so that will be that.
Yeah, this 30's got to close outside of the range or I'm done for today.
Yeah. It looks like 5 minute just made it like a low, and now it's testing that little area here. So, and that's all she wrote.
Damn, if this kind of flips.
Yeah, I don't know if even if it does flip, I'm not a fan of anything now.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's moving a bit mad.
Yeah.
A bit mad. It's moving mad.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, bad move.
Sundays are either really, really good or it does this. I think the past few weeks it's kind of done this. I think Sundays have been pretty poop lately. 1, 2, 3. I mean, we won. Was this last Sunday? Yeah, we won last Sunday. Oh yeah, and then it kind of it reversed that whole move and then ranged again. I think this was the same thing. That one, yeah. So we minimized that one. This one, yeah, just kind of reversed the whole thing again. And then this one kind of made a low. And then, yeah, just reversed it again. I remember. Yeah, I think down is more likely, but I wasn't gonna use a 20 pip stop. It was either gonna go or it wasn't. I think we're still going. We're just we broke away, retesting, and then we'll kind of lower low, lower high on the 5 minute. But that's all she wrote for me.
Yeah, I think I'm all done too.
Yep.
I'm all done.
Yeah, gave it my 2 chances, so I'm not gonna fight it now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, man. Not this evening.
And 2 hour.
Man, I had the pips in my pocket. Should've just walked away.
What happened?
Because I don't know, like there was just like this voice in my head just telling me just like close right now. Something that was just telling me to close.
Well, when you hear voices in your head, maybe you shouldn't be trading.
Yeah, that might be schizophrenia though. Yeah. That, yeah.
GJ's a strong woman. Yeah. Yeah.
No, not schizophrenia.
Gave it a try. Oh well. We'll live to trade another day, I guess. Yeah. See, let me see what I did on the previous Sunday. See if I always get stuck in this. No, this one wasn't. I mean, this one was right here, so I think, yeah, that target was poor. I should have used this last week. I think that would have been better. And then previous week, break of here, was this open? I wonder if this was open. Nope, this one was definitely open. Okay. Yeah. Then this one. Yeah. That was just nonsense right there. We got Buys above 132, 300. Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking another trade, but maybe a push above this wick with a good stop loss would make sense. Or the original idea I had under this wick down here would be the only thing I would take. Probably the only thing I should have taken. But the other trades fit the rules, so I took them. And they didn't play out. But yeah, I think a close above here with a new high or a close under here with a new low makes sense. Or if you break this, I think you're going to be good down to here as well.
I see it going through that support rather than going through the resistance.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I agree.
I feel more stronger again about it going through the floor than the ceiling. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Let's get this week set up.
Why is that?
Hmm?
Why?
Just when I'm looking at the ceiling, hold up, let me go back and get on to. I feel like once it gets up to that ceiling, it's only really got up there a few times, and and the resistance levels is stronger, man.
I think I see it completely opposite.
Just looking now on the hourly.
I think I'm seeing it got up to that ceiling all those times, and it's just a matter of time until it breaks it.
It didn't get past the
And I
300 mark.
see the graduating height of the wicks on the bottom. They're going up. They're not going down. So I think it's going up.
I hear you, but then the last one just broke the previous.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about this tomorrow. Let's put in a rain check on that. It'd be interesting to see how it plays.
Yes, I think people are gonna have different views, definitely. Yo, in fact, YouTube, what do you think, man? Give us your views, man. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, it's a market, so you know. Some are buying and some are selling.
But guess what? We can only do two things, right? Buy or sell.
No, there's a third thing we can do.
Sit on your hands.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been a sit on my hands night for me so far, but hoping this candle can do something and close above or below.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
It's Josh.
What's up, Josh?
I'm here. I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Nope, you didn't miss anything. You missed a loss and this where I had my stop it hit, so you missed two losses.
She's ranging again.
Yeah, I was anticipating a break. Didn't happen, so.
We live to trade another day.
That's exactly what I said. Yeah. Gave it a stab twice and it didn't like it, so I'll just wait.
Hey, listen, YouTube. If you guys took those trades and you took losses, it's best to just sit this out for the night. Can't stress it enough. When we're in a range, there's no reason to try and catch 5 and 10 pips in the range. Just relax. We have tomorrow. We have the day after. There's so many people losing money right now just trying to catch a bullish or bearish candle. Just calm down. Everything will be okay.
Yeah, one candle doesn't mean direction.
Sound advice, bro.
Wow, look at Josh giving sound advice. Wow.
Hey man, I gotta bring to the community. I've been down a couple of days. I've been out working. I had to come in and give my opinion.
Yo, look at you.
Damn, leveling up. Ooh.
Management on risk management. Wow, Josh. Josh used to risk it all for a chocolate biscuit.
All right, D-boy, that's enough. I expected out of Gerjot, but not you.
No, I'm saying this is growth, like maximum growth. Like,
if anyone was sleeping, they just woke up. D-boy's in the house.
Yeah, for all those people that don't know, man, D-boy is here, man.
I think everyone knows they'd had to turn their sound down.
You either
Good though, the Zoom missed the energy last week.
Yeah. Last week was short. It feels like.
Well, yeah, because you were out.
Yeah, I was gone for a day, and then I pretty much skipped most of New York last week. Didn't seem like I missed much, though.
For everybody that heard that, it was definitely not GJ.
Yeah, GJ did not look pretty last week.
I'm playing with US 30 per usual.
Yep. Oh, that's what you're on?
Yeah. Even though I told myself come Monday. So I realized all my significant losses last week were US 30 for just stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so hard to flip your trading plan with GJ versus US 30. It's a completely different ballgame. So sometimes I wouldn't realize. I realize I'm on US 30, but then I don't use my trading plan for US 30. I'm using my trading plan for GJ, and enter like on the 15 or 30 when I enter on the 5 minute on US 30, and it just backfires. So I told myself, I think I could be more successful if I just leave US 30 alone and focus on GJ all week and see what my turnout is, because all my losses when I look through everything are significantly worse on US 30 than GJ.
Okay. So you're going to only look at GJ this week?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, you did kind of smash US 30 all week last week, it seemed.
Yeah, she seems like she's trying to throw me in the trunk and get some ransom money right now.
Yeah.
You see, with GJ, I'll hit my stop on US 30 because it moves so fast, but yet on GJ, I manage my stop, and I haven't hit my stop loss on GJ in 2 weeks because I'm managing my losses, and I'm closing out early, closing 50%, closing out fully before it hits my stop loss. But on US 30, it's a whole nother ballgame, so I'm just going to sit it out. I don't need it. I can be successful on just GJ.
Well, tell me something, Josh.
Yeah.
Would you make more money trading US 30 than what you would on GJ?
Absolutely, because of how fast it is. If I could really learn it, 100%. But I like GJ. I'm rather
using the same stop losses. Using the same stop losses and the same lot sizes.
No, whole another ball game, brother. US 30 is completely different than GJ.
Mm-hmm.
It moves so fast, and if it fakes you out, you don't even have time to react.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I like, I'll be honest with you, US 30 is quick money. Like you can enter, and 5 minutes later, you're good. And you'd make more money than most people would make on GJ on a 20-minute, 30-minute trade. But what I like now is I'm focusing more on GJ because I can be in a trade for 15 to 20 minutes. I can manage it. It moves at a decent pace to monitor. And I realize that my gains will be far much more better doing that instead of US 30, because I try to swing US 30, and it's a horrible idea. Ted goes in for like 10 points and he's done, and I'm sitting in trades for like an hour or two.
Yeah. God bless you, by the way, whoever that was. But then if you was using the same lot sizes and the same stop losses, would
There
you
is
make
no
more
same
money?
lot sizes. The
No,
measures-
there's definitely, it's completely different, bro. Like I can't even, no. Like I'm doing, the most I'll do on a US 30, if it's like, if I'm trading the news or like a whole bunch of stocks are falling or gaining, I'll do 0.10, but most of my lot sizes for US 30 are like 0.02, 0.03. But if I hold them throughout the day and manage them, I mean, the profit is amazing. But if it goes into a drawdown, I hope you paid your car note.
I think the other thing too is if you can get more and more confident on GJ, all you do is if you're steady on that, just up your lot sizes and slowly bring up that to try and make those bigger plays with the same kind of 10, 20 pip movements.
So
I agree with you. If I would honestly, if I would use my trading plan on GJ at US 30 and get in and out, like, because I don't hold a trade on GJ more than 12 pips. My trading plan is 12 pips and I leave a runner. And if I feel as if I don't want to leave a runner, then I just take the whole 12 pips. And if it goes to 30 pips or 50 pips, you know what? Congratulations to everybody else. I left in profit. Because all last week when we were playing with this range, I was in profit. And I would say, we have clean traffic to the left. We're good. We're going to go. And then I get into this crazy-ass drawdown, and I close out. So now it's like, no. I'm going to stick to my plan this week. All the games are done. Because I honestly see, like, with Paul and a few other traders being so disciplined on one. I mean, Paul, you only trade GJ. You don't look at anything else.
Nope.
And look at how successful you are. So why would I try and jump out the box?
Let's not count Sundays, but.
All right. Well, think about it. Count Sundays and look at your profit. You know what I mean? Count the Sundays.
I kick the shit out of GJ. Just Sunday tends to kick me first, and then I kick back the rest of the week. But
yeah, but your wins are much stronger than your losses. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So basically, Josh, that's basically what I was trying to get at. That if you trade 10 pairs, 5 pairs, 8 pairs, 3 pairs, it doesn't make you any more successful than trading 1 pair.
Nope, sure doesn't.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I was trying to get at, basically.
And I'm with you on it.
I'm with you. Lot sizes and the same, stop losses as another pair. It's not going to make you more successful. It just means that you've got 2 charts to look at, 3 charts to look at, 4 charts to look at, 5, 8, 10. You're giving yourself more work.
Right.
Well, you're not going to be financially more successful because if you get a win over here and you get a win over there, it's still 2 wins.
And then what was worse for me is, I've only been trading for, a month and a half now. I've never experienced GJ going to a range for a whole damn week, or a whole week, a whole week. So this is a new learning experience for me to stay away because I've never experienced this before. This is new to me.
Yeah.
So now I know from here on out, when I see it in a range, she ain't getting none of my money.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that's why I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to... to be fair, let me put it out there for YouTube. My biggest problem in life is probably trying to do too much at the same time. In general. So, in order to be successful, I think sometimes you just need to simplify things. So, what's the point in trying to learn 5 different pairs when you can make the same money off of 1 pair? Just up your lot sizes. Huh?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, D-boy. That's the best way to look at it. So many people look at different pairs because, I'll be honest with you. I'm sure a lot of people in the YouTube chat too are looking. They deal with signals and everything, and they just see something come out and they don't follow the chart and look at it. And I'm telling you guys right now, none of that's worth it. If you do the research and learn what Paul's teaching us, man, this is life-changing once you get the hang of it.
Exactly, Philmon. It just speeds up the learning curve, hopefully.
Got a decent close there on the 30.
Bullish? Or, I mean, like weak bearish?
Yeah. It closed above the range, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really like it. I don't think it's enough for me to want to take a buy if it breaks or anything. So I think I'm going to be done for the night.
I guess it will go bullish, but let's wait a little bit to cross the wick.
I like it. I'm in. My
Yeah.
stop loss is at break even plus a few pips.
Oh, you're in the trade already?
What, for buys?
You're in for a buy?
Yeah, I took it off the 5-minute little structure on the 5-minute.
I'm looking at a pulse entry on the break of this 30-minute top wick.
And what price you took by?
Excuse my language.
My stop loss is below that last red candle on the 5 minutes.
This on the 50-minute just looked like it was creating higher lows with the bottom wick for this one, for the 250 minutes that didn't have it.
Yeah, it's possible.
I just can't see it breaking it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, the only thing I've just looked at is the fact that we did just close above that resistance now, so my buyer's bias is still there. I think the only way we could head up is if we see maybe a wick down into this area, then it starts to go bullish, breaking the high of the previous 30-minute, because then why would we still come up and break that if we were now going to come down through this wick? We shouldn't.
Well, I'm thinking to place a stop loss under the 15-minute candle.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a bit of a bigger wick down on the 30 before it breaks that high, just to know that we have made a wick, because it's pretty tiny right now.
I mean, hourly's got a pretty strong sort of rocket ship kind of wick if we're going up.
Still hasn't made it past the 380 yet.
I'm looking at a possible entry here once it makes a 30-minute high. So it's like a decent stop loss of like 5 pips.
You can take that up to 700 then?
500.
Gotcha.
My last target is 486, but might get stopped out before then.
I will close some positions around maybe 400 and then let it go.
Oh, did you get in already?
I said I will close some positions on 400 and let the runner go.
Yeah, no, are you in already?
Yeah, I just got in.
Gotcha.
Yo, if that's the case.
Trade your own plan. Don't get FOMO.
I'm like, yo, this has already hit top end of that range. So technically, if it's staying in the range, we will be coming back down now. Just saying.
I never liked trading the range.
In this, even though it's a bearish 30, didn't it close above the range?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of getting to be the moment of truth on that range.
But I definitely feel like it has to hit that 138 and above in order to actually be like running through that whole. It needs to hit the 400, man. Like,
yeah, 400 and above. I agree.
Yeah, it has to hit the 400, otherwise.
This is a question to all other traders. I know some of you guys aren't looking at any more entries or anything like that. So if I were to look at an entry, like I was saying, at the possible 30-minute high, would you guys just say, why not wait for like this wick over to the left, because that's the last bit of any sort of resistance?
If you want to, yeah, but look at the hourly too.
The hourly, let me look at the hourly real quick.
Personally, I'm a rookie, but I don't like large stop losses in the range. I think it's very risky. I'll take a large stop loss out of the range once we close and we're away from there, but in the range right now, it just doesn't make sense to me.
The hourly broke the previous hourly low, and now it's continuing. It looks like it wants to continue up, but
yeah, I think if it breaks here, we'll probably start to push to here. But we have to do that first.
Yeah. If this comes back down,
which
like if it does, like it passes. Once again, this sort of resistance kind of. I know we already broke past it. I'm just saying, if it does, like I'm not gonna take any sort of trade after that, because then it looks like it's just gonna range a little bit. It might create a higher wick, but continue in the range.
Yeah, I'm gonna place a buy previous 30-minute high right now.
This is why I don't like ranges. Sometimes it wicks up like that, sometimes it wicks down, but comes right back in.
This makes trading boring.
Welcome to Sunday. Sometimes. I don't know. We had a nice run on Sundays. There was a few weeks in a row, maybe even 6 or 8. Where Sundays just have tons of volume.
Yeah, this is the SSS, the Sunday shirt show.
The Sunday shirt show. Yep, you're right.
PG for
Yep.
YouTube.
the shirt show.
Shirt show, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no trade there. I like that.
Shirt love show.
Triple S.
I think that looks good. Sells down under there. I think that looks good. Just make sure you assess your stop loss when it gets to that area.
Man, it said the 15-minute ribbons are conforming support.
Yeah, there's so many. I've never even heard that. There's so much stuff out there. Like there's master candles, ribbons, fibs, the little umbrella crap we put on the chart, your little 5-point triangle. Like there's so much. I mean, it all works, I guess, depending on who's using it and if you use it. But man, if I can just stick to lows and highs of previous candles on 30-minute and 1 hour, it's going to be so much easier to repeat than trying to be like, okay, we have this and then we're going to target here. Like, how do you place and then repeat this consistently on every trade? I don't know how to use this. So I mean, maybe you can, but I feel like it has a much lower probability than just highs and lows of previous candles. Or what's the other one?
There's more subjectivity on that stuff.
What's up?
There's more subjectivity. Like,
yeah,
you'll interpret it how you interpret it. Sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it works for people, but
You talking about ribbons? What we talking about? Bows? What we talking about?
Oh yeah, just like that. Perfect.
yeah.
That looks bug.
Yeah, I visually could not recreate this consistently on every trade. That would, I would be, man, I'd rather go read a book than do that.
And reading books.
Oh my god, that's literally the worst thing in the world.
I actually like reading books. I don't mind it. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I find it interesting. YouTube videos though are where I do the majority of my learning.
I like books, but I don't like reading. So if I was listening to a book, yeah, I'm all for it. Let's go. But reading, I don't know. Rather do anything else.
I've been listening to audiobooks.
I'm not taking any more entry off of this 30 anymore now.
Oh, you already did?
No. I'm saying like even if it does come up, like just let like the YouTube channel that I'm not going to take it due to the fact that Forex is closing in 19 minutes. And if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just don't want to be in the trade anymore.
Yeah, I think we give it one more shot. I tried giving it a shot about an hour ago. So at this point, I'm following my plan, and yeah.
That's funny.
What happened?
Nothing.
I missed something.
Yeah, you did.
Let me go read what's happening.
Yeah, that comment got me. That's funny. That's really funny. Throwback to simpler times. Yeah. Yeah, I've been listening to Trading in the Zone as well. I think I'm halfway done now. Great book. Took a buy on UCAD. Alright.
Yeah, I've got a suggestion for you, Kev. We don't trade it.
Nah, I trade it. New York session.
So, D-Boy, I have a modification for that statement about the moment of truth on the range.
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm changing it to the hour of truth.
I'm listening.
This hour has to close, and the next hour has to close to give us the truth.
I thought we was coming back to it tomorrow.
Nope. Plan change.
I'll settle for this hour and the next. But tomorrow will be interesting, yes.
I'll take it. I'll take you up on it. This next hour.
I think we break this 30-minute, we're gonna go.
Whoa, Carver.
Because then we would have pushed and made this support to push up if we make a higher high and a higher low. Because we don't do that in resistance. So if we do break up, I think we're gonna go up.
What's cool about this hour is it looks like a doji now, but it closes in 15 minutes. It could look completely different by then.
Oh yeah, it could have a bullish body up to here. We might even come up and retest that kind of like this area we broke out of again.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about we just got on the stream. I think we could come up there before we see. I think we could see bearish weekly, but I think we might see a retracement up to there beforehand.
Down to where?
Up to 800, around there.
132, 800.
Yeah.
I think once D-Boy gets me a 4K monitor as a present, I'm going to be the trader what dreams to be.
What happened?
I need a 4K monitor, D-Boy.
Yeah, bro. I need like 5 screens, bro.
Then it might be like...
Look like we're, whoa, what's going on with these candles, man?
We're on the 15th.
No, I'm watching
it on the 15th.
Hold up, let me have a look on the 15th.
This looks promising. This looks promising.
I mean, the 50-second looks pretty promising too. Big signal given out.
15 minutes.
5 minute and the 1 hour.
I mean, if we look at the if we look at the monthly, we can tell it's about to pop. So.
I'm looking at the 3-month chart right now. I think we could see a spike down.
Yep, for sure.
You're not looking at the 10-second one yet?
No, that one's too much confirmation.
Too much confirmation.
Yeah, we don't want to take those kind of trades.
Oh man, I was thinking about getting the subscription, paying what is it, $30 a month for TradingView?
You were what? I missed all of that.
I think it's about $30 a month for TradingView, and you can have like multiple time frames on one screen. That would be kind of nice, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I was
What do
thinking
you?
about
Wait, I have multiple time frames on one screen with my Black Friday special.
No.
You just use the tool.
You've got the paid version, right, Paul?
Yeah, I do, but it's only $20 a month or something like that.
Yeah, $15. Well, £15 English.
Yeah.
How much was the Black Friday special? It was like $60 a year or $100 a year or something.
I'm not sure. Sharma, are you here?
Yes, sir.
So Rabbi wants to know what fundamentals can cause ranging for GJ, or in general, or both, whatever you got.
So a pair ranges fundamentally if, for example, GJ or JPY is weak and the pound is weak. It can also range if both of them are strong. And then looking at like the current global economic conditions, they're both kind of weak. So if you're just looking at it from a fundamentals perspective, then that's why it's ranging. And then it kind of wicks up and wicks down because it's very sensitive to news.
I just got in.
So we thought
Ask us what BJ. Where would the banks play in this then?
the banks come in with like all these monetary policies, like the government coming out with lower interest rates, or for example, the Federal Reserve has been introducing policies to help out like small businesses and households and all that stuff. Is pretty much they're trying to have businesses and consumers like us, like average people, invest in the economy instead of the government just paying all the money. So when they lower interest rates, they're pretty much promoting businesses and us, the consumers, to go out and get more loans, invest, find investments, and that increases the money supply for the banks. So that way, the Federal Reserve doesn't have to pay like millions or billions of dollars to each bank. So then the bank can go and pay the consumers who are trying to take out their money. It's kind of like incentivizing us to like give out money or put money into the economy.
And as far as, so how does that work as far as investment bankers now? Would they not want to keep it in a certain range in order for, I don't know, liquidate, like to liquidity, or, you know, just they're not ready to let it, you know, shoot out of this area for now because
I got in buys. Sorry.
Here it goes.
Well, like they say that the 132 area, for example, on GJ, is a very strong support area, right? So once it breaks past that, that's price fulfilling the liquidity. So that's the area that investment banks will be looking for. Because overall, like we said, if you go on a monthly or weekly time frame, overall over time, we've had the confirmation of a bearish trend. And so now the liquidity that the investment banks will be looking for is around that 120 area. So that's the target. That's the area that the investment banks are targeting.
What price are you guys targeting? I've got 132475.
Target. I'm just looking for a 1-to-1 to 444.
But did that kind of make sense, D-Boy?
yeah.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, I think that trade looks good.
I was just wondering more, you know, about the banks like keeping it. Do you not feel like they will play a part in keeping it in that range?
Well, keeping it in the current range really doesn't help the banks of either of these economies, of the pound or the yen.
I mean, even if one of the countries wanted to keep it, like say like the Japanese central bank, or I can't remember what it's called, but if they wanted the yen to stay strong against their largest trading partner, China, and they didn't want it to gain, they wanted it to not lose value against the Chinese yuan. They don't have enough money to keep it from devaluing.
Right.
Any one bank is not powerful enough because there's just way too much liquidity, way too much money in the forex market for any one institution or whatever to control the price. It's just too big. But yeah, that's my take.
I have a question for Sharma.
Yes.
It's a fundamentals question. This question may sound dumb compared to the question you just got asked,
Go ahead.
which is a wonderful one. So, like, you know, I trade technicals. Like, I don't know almost nothing about fundamentals. I'm trying to increase my knowledge, right?
Yeah.
The first part of this question is: are there individuals out there that trade strictly fundamentals? Like,
Yes.
is that the thing? Okay. So if I were to strictly trade fundamentals, right, and also they have some technical knowledge behind them, how would you, like, when you're looking at this chart, like the chart we have in front of us, right? How do you trade like fundamentals strictly? Like where would you enter? Where are the confirmations? Like where the stop losses? Like how does the fundamentals come into play into the chart? Like where you're entering, if that makes any sense.
If I'm looking strictly based off the chart, then
No,
that
I'm
would
saying
be
like fundamentals, yeah, and just there's fundamental knowledge. Like I don't know how fundamentals technically works. So it's like fundamentals, we would say, oh, like the GJ is you're saying due to the news that came out like last week or news that's going to come out next week, you're assuming GJ is gonna go in a bullish trend, right?
right. So, for example, that the M4 money supply is gonna come out, right, for GBP.
Okay.
My time it's 1:30. I'm on the West Coast. So if I want to trade that news and then the mortgage approvals and also the net lending individuals, and yeah, so those three news are gonna come out at 1:30 my time, right? And the forecast for all of them is better than the previous. So if I want to trade that, then if it comes out at 1:30, I'm gonna start entering my buy positions around 12:30, 1 o'clock. So it's about an hour or half an hour before the news comes out, because that's where the entire buildup is. That's the investor buildup that I was talking about earlier, where we saw that bullish candle, and then we saw the rejection just coming right back down. And then as soon as the news comes out, or like 2 minutes before the news comes out, I'm gonna take out my position because I know that even if the news comes out exactly at forecast or below that, the next candle is just gonna reject the area that the price is at and just continue down after that buildup.
Oh, so you, like when fundamentals trade, they don't trade while the news comes out. They
Trade
take.
before because they're the one who are creating that entire buildup.
God, that makes sense. Because I was kind of confused. I was like you can't you can't predict the future, right? Obviously, sometimes it does come out a negative compared to when you would think it would come positive. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
So basically, in the trade that we were the news that just came in, right?
Right. The retail sales.
Yeah, so it's like if you were to look for entry, can you like just mark it up where you would have taken the entry and where you would have got to know possibly?
Yeah. So let's see here.
It was this candle, right?
Yeah. So if I want to enter, then I would have entered. This is 30 minutes, so I would have entered somewhere either at this candle or this candle here. Right, and then I would. Yeah, and then the price came back down, it did a retest, and that would be basically like another confirmation that, okay, price is just going to come back up after this point. Because if you look at it, like very vaguely, price is just making lower highs at that, higher lows at that point, right?
Yeah.
This entire movement. So that's where you would have entered. And then I would have taken out right here at this point, right before news came out, a couple of minutes before news came out.
Because
playing out. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so because you know that like the news can possibly not be as forecasted, and then they could just have this dump, which you kind of did, right?
Right. So like even if you're looking at the current 30-minute, you see how like even 3 minutes before this candle closes, price is just kind of going up and down here. Just fluctuating. So that's why I would have taken it out at this point somewhere here, just a couple of minutes before the news where price is fluctuating.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Because I always wondered, like, I was like, what's their confirmation? So the confirmation just like, okay, like it's forecasted to be positive, so that you're gonna just enter at like possibly like any sort of low that you can or like any sort of lows which could have been down here, or like once this candle closes, and then to ride it up all the way to like the top of the range and then get out just before.
Right, and then that's like the scalping right here. But if you're like swing trading, then for example, let me find a news towards the end of the week. Like final services PMI on Friday.
Yeah.
Comes out, and it's right at the forecast. Like the forecast and the previous are the same.
Yeah.
So I would be looking for a sell at that point, because I think I mentioned it before as well that usually when the forecast is exactly at the previous, then the market perceives that in a negative way. And so if the actual comes out and it's exactly at 47, then the market is still going to look at it as a weak fundamental, and that will stimulate kind of the sell.
Okay. And when traders are trading fundamentals, right? Are they trading like in the high impact news, or would it just be like any sort of like news that they think impacts the market? It's like, NFP is like a high impact news where there's a bunch of movement in the market. Would fundamentals stay away from that due to the fact that
fundamentalists usually look at all the news as a whole, and they try to understand what is that going to do economically overall. Okay. So, for example, like a very quick explanation, tomorrow you're going to see the money supply, mortgage approvals, and the net lending to individuals come out, right? So the net lending to individuals is the new credit that's issued to consumers, right? Yeah. So if I'm just looking at those three news, if the money supply increases, that means that the economy is getting stronger.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a lot more money into the economy. And that also includes like cash, it includes all your like bank deposits, like credits and cash, all of that stuff. Right? And then go ahead. Wait, somebody else saying something?
Oh, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt. I was just wondering if the people that are in this trade are still holding.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm
just about to secure.
Good question on that. 4 hour is about to close or an open new one.
Yeah,
would you guys still hold? Would you hold beyond that, or?
I wouldn't if I was in it.
Yeah, because it could wick down quite a bit, right?
It could just hit you at break even and continue.
And I've taken partials and it's protected.
So the idea we mapped out was right. If we did get above here, then we were going to get above here. So that made sense.
Wow, yeah, I've got a runner, 30% running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was nice, GJ. Made back my loss.
Yeah, I always wondered how fundamentals trade in. That makes sense because I was like, how are they gonna like just like what's their confirmation to entry? They're not gonna enter like while news is coming out, right? Because like it's gonna just wick up, wick down. It wouldn't make sense, and they would miss it.
Right. Yeah. So if I'm looking at those three news together, and let's say the money supply increases and the mortgage approvals also they're better than the forecast, and the net lending is better than the forecast, then that means that the economy overall is doing great, right? And then the consumer that would also boost the consumer confidence because if you have the money supply increases, especially M4, there's different kinds of money supplies. There's M1, M2, M3. There's also a MZM, which is like a zero maturity. I think it's zero maturity or something like that. So there's different kinds. M4 includes basically everything in it. And then that would kind of boost the consumer confidence, and that would also boost like your final GDP. It would give that a little boost, and the business investment. So if you have a lower interest rates, then businesses would want to take out loans. The consumer would want to take out loans because they could get the same loan for a lower price, basically, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so just looking at all of this news overall, understanding that okay, how does one news impact the next one, and what does that mean overall for the economy? So I kind of explained it using those three examples, but you would pretty much do the same thing, and that's how you would swing trade fundamentals.
Okay, that makes sense. No, that the way when you explained it, like that when they break the entry and then they look at like the forecast and the previous, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why they would get in and why they would get out.
Yeah, and it also tells you overall, okay, what policies can you expect coming out. So if this news, all this news is doing great and it's beating the forecast, then you're gonna see there's two different types of policies. It's contractionary and expansionary. Contractionary usually it's higher interest rates, and they do that because the economy is doing much better at that point. And then expansionary is basically they're trying to expand the money supply into the economy, so they lower the interest rates at that point. Try to support the economy.
Now, my next question is this: we just like you said in March when like the beginning of the coronavirus started, right?
Right.
What do you have saying like for people that trade fundamentals? That would have been kind of like a easy month to trade because like all the news that was coming out was going to be negative, and like it was kind of like you sell constantly all the time due to the fact that all the economy.
I'm out.
What are you saying, Gurjat?
I was saying, so it's like in March, like for fundamentals, right? Like all like when the start of the pandemic started, so fundamental would have been like one of the best times for fundamentals to kind of trade because the economy of the world was kind of like crumbling down, and all the economy of like United Kingdom, the USA, or like the Canadian economy was kind of crashing. So when you say that was kind of like one of the best times, would you say it was an easier time to trade during like some sort of like mass pandemic?
I personally don't think that it was an easier time to trade just because every news that was coming out was impacting the pair. So some news you would see that because some of this news is revealed or it comes out after like a month.
Yeah.
So really some of this news that we're looking at, it's actually like it's using the data from the previous month.
It's old news, not like the okay.
Right. And so for I think the retail sales that came out today, it's released monthly about 27 days after the month ends. So that was old news. So this is the number for last month.
Yeah, I was kind of like being more specific. Like an example for like me would be like NFP. If we took a look, once business were shutting down, and it was kind of like mandatory for business to close the doors for like a certain amount of period until the government says to reopen it, right? Wouldn't you just automatically say, no, okay, like people are going to be unemployed because no businesses are going to be up and running, so that you would just get an automatic sell because you know that news is most likely going to be negative. Like the numbers are going to be a lot of people are going to be unemployed, for example, in the NFP example.
Right. So on Wednesday we have like NFP news coming, not NFP, but non-farm employment change coming out, right?
Yeah.
And that is also old news because it's released 2 days after the month ends. So if you're looking at that, and not even that, you could look at the news that leads up to that point, which is consumer confidence. It's also the final services PMI, because
Yeah.
services would be like the retail stores and all of that. Manufacturing would be like the people who actually manufacture the products. So all that news would lead up to, okay, well, unemployment, all that news is doing terrible, so that means that we're gonna have a lot of people who are going to be like, unemployed at that point. And if we are using coronavirus in March, we would have expected that because they had the entire shutdown.
Yeah.
And understanding that, well, if there's a shutdown, there's a lockdown, there's a shelter in place, and only essential workers can go to work, there's a lot of people who aren't really considered essential workers, and so they're going to have to stay at home, and that's going to increase the unemployment.
Okay. So it's like more like you said, almost you have to look at almost the overall of the economy and trying to you have to decide what the previous news did and figure out which way the economy is gonna grow or decrease.
There's
Maybe.
always hints for it, so there's always hints that are leading up to that point.
Well, how much do you know about the Federal Reserve? That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, I know the Federal Reserve is like the elephant in the room.
Yeah, that's all I've pretty much studied for the past 5 years. That's also what I've studied in college.
Uh-huh.
And so
Yeah, they're
I
pretty
look at
powerful.
that, and then I look at every aspect of the economy that they impact, and then also what drives their decision is what I've been studying.
Guys, sorry. Oh, I was just gonna say quickly. I've closed everything, and I'm actually gonna call it a night there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Since
Have a good night, Harrison.
See you guys. Yeah.
Yo, later on, Alex.
Yeah. See you, bros. Sweet.
I was gonna say, you said you started the Federal Reserve, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just start off by saying I don't know a lot of information about it, like any sort of fundamentals like that. But don't you find it crazy how is the federal? My first question is the Federal Reserve is like a private not like company, you would say, right? It's not run by the government.
Banking system of the United States.
No, yeah, that I don't know, but it's private. It's not run by the government, right?
Yeah,
It's a government
private.
agency.
Pardon me?
It's considered a government agency.
It is considered a government agency?
Yes.
Okay. Because
I thought it wasn't.
Yeah, I've always heard that it wasn't considered a government agency, and they're kind of like their own. Obviously, they're closely related with the government, and that's where all it's the main banking for the United States and everything like that. But I thought it was kind of like they're their own identity, and that, like the government has kind of no control over that.
Yeah, they're not owned by anyone, but really, they're like the agency of the federal government. So they work with the federal government.
Yeah,
But
so they
they're
work.
not owned by them.
Yeah, so they work with. Obviously they closely work with them, but they're not owned by them, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what are your thoughts on that? Isn't that kind of like this is like nothing related to almost like trading. This is kind of like off topic, but don't you kind of think like that's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of kind of like BS. Like that's like the you know the top 1% of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like those massive companies that own everything.
Right.
So don't you think kind of like isn't like the top 1% kind of controls like the USA, kind of like they can do whatever they want because they own, like they can print unlimited money if they want technically, right?
I personally like the fact that they're kind of independent, because that means that with every new administration that comes into the White House or anything like that, like they don't really have control over the Federal Reserve. So the Federal Reserve gets to look at all the naked data and then decides upon that.
Yeah.
So, for example, like, not to be political or anything like that, but for example, a lot of times Trump has tweeted that he wants a weaker dollar, right? So
Yeah.
just because he tweets that, just because he wants that, doesn't mean that the Federal Reserve is going to be like, well, okay, this is what Mr. Trump wants, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the interest rates here to weaken our economy. They're like, no, we don't need it at this point, so we're not going to do it. But when the coronavirus came and they saw like what the impact was, and they were like, okay, well now obviously we need to weaken our currency, we need to drop our interest rates to help support our economy. And
Yeah, I
then
guess.
Trump is like President Trump is like, well, first he was like, well, coronavirus is just like it's a hoax, it's not a real thing, this and that. But I like the fact that it's separate from any administration and it's its own identity and it's independent because it gets to look at all that naked data and decide upon that what it needs to do to help support the economy.
I guess that was my question. I was kind of asking, like, do you think it was like it's better that it's not controlled by the government? It's its own identity. Also, they're close related. So you would say that it's kind of better because then they're making decisions based off of technical data than just like than whatever they want.
Yeah.
Because is USA the only country that kind of has this?
No, there's different. Every country has their own, like, quote, Federal Reserve, but they're called different things. Ours is just called Federal Reserve.
No, I'm saying is USA I'm talking about like all, in most of the countries, like the government kind of controls like the banking system and like their Federal Reserve. While in USA they don't.
Well, I don't know about, like, most of the other countries, but I know, like, what the Federal Reserve in the United States does.
I think Europe has like a central bank for all those countries. They kind of came together and created one bank, the European Central Bank, right? Isn't that right, Sharma? I think that is the ECB, and they're pretty powerful. Whenever the head chairman of the ECB says something, then we should see spikes in the euro and whatever pairs. Another is like the International Monetary Fund. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I know that's very influential.
Currencies, I believe.
Yeah, there's a few really big banks. I think the Federal Reserve is the largest, though, just because the U.S. economy is the largest, and it just happened to be that the United States, has the largest economy, has the largest GDP. Yeah.
And guys, like, trust me, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to gain more knowledge. So, like, chat, don't listen to me. Listen to more educated people like Sharma. Okay, she's been in school for about 5 years for this. So make sure you're listening to Sharma and nothing that I say.
Oh, don't listen to me at all. I'm just speaking gibberish.
My next question for you, like I know we're kind of this is not like trading, but my next question for you is this.
You're gonna have to hold on. I'm gonna end the stream so you guys can do that off stream. But okay. I am gonna call it a night on the stream. Those buys were kind of what we should have been in. If you caught it, nice, and we'll be back